Now let's meet the non-starters for Oak Ridge High School. Non-starter number 4.
Back here at the Murphy Center on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University, it's Oak Ridge and White Station. The non-starters are being introduced out on the floor. White Station's non-starters have already been introduced. White Station has won 4 state championships, and they did that all in the 2000s. And so this is a formidable team that the Wildcats are going against. You might remember Dane Bradshaw, former University of Tennessee player. As Brian, I think you've got the starting lineups. Dane Bradshaw played for this White Station team, but who's playing for him tonight?
Yeah, that's right, Dave. The starter for the point guard position tonight for the White Station Spartans, number 1, Joe Jackson at the guard. For the Wildcats will be number 2, Tyler Clark. Number 4 for the Spartans will be Julian Barton at the post for the Wildcats. Number 3, Quincy Dowdell. He's a senior on the ball club team. And at the number 30, Marquette Morrell for the Spartans will be at the wing or guard position. At the guard for the Oak Ridge Wildcats will be number 5, DeMarcus Rogers. He's the 3rd starter for the Wildcats tonight. At guard for the White Station Spartans, number 44, Farrakhan Hall. Number 10 at the post player for the Wildcats, number 10, James Michael. And the final starter for the White Station Spartans is number 55. That is Danny Harris. And at the guard position for the Wildcats, the 5th and final starter, number 20, Jared Stevens. That's the 5 starters for each teams. And then we're getting excited for the tip-off from the Murphy Center on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University.
Thanks a lot, Brian. We are about to get set. We appreciate you wherever you might be listening to us tonight on WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, or on the internet, prepradio.com. Not a bad crowd on hand here for this AAA ball game, the first of 4 AAA ball games today. The starters for White Station are out on the floor. They're wearing their all-green jerseys, green pants, white trim. The Wildcats wearing their home whites, cardinal and black trim. It'll be Quincy Dowdell to jump for the Oak Ridge Wildcats. To jump for White Station, Farrakhan Hall, 6'8", junior player out of Memphis, Tennessee. It's Oak Ridge and White Station. The winner moves on to the semifinals. The official stands in, ball easily controlled by Oak Ridge, and we're underway here at the Murphy Center on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University. DeMarcus Rogers with the basketball for Oak Ridge, works it off to Jared Stevens, who works it over to Tyler Clark. They come out, working the ball to the right. It goes to Quincy Dowdell. Free throw line will not shoot. Jared pulls up. No shot. Works the ball left side. Tyler Clark, three-pointer to start the ball game. Good! 3-point shot. Tyler Clark, and the Wildcats lead it by a score of 3-0. Down the floor of the basketball will come Tyler Clark with a steal. Tyler with it on the floor, picked up by White Station. They'll set up their offense. Here's Joe Jackson driving, pulling up, shooting. No good. Rebound to Oak Ridge, I believe. It will be Oak Ridge's basketball. It's Oak Ridge and White Station here at the Murphy Center. 3-0. Good start for the Wildcats as Tyler Clark nails the 3-point shot. Oak Ridge facing full court pressure. Here comes DeMarcus Rogers down the floor, guarded by Joe Jackson. He brings the ball across the midcourt line, dribbles to the right and gives it over to Jared Stevens. Back to Clark it goes. Tyler looks down low, finds Quincy up high. Wildcats on top, 3-0, just underway. Quincy hands it to Jared. Jared drives, pulls up, wants to shoot, blocked, taken right back by James Michael, stripped out of his hands by Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson down the floor, dribbling, stopping, pulling up, shooting, and missing. No good. Rebound to Oak Ridge had it, then it's knocked out by James Michael. The White Station basketball underneath the goal. Oak Ridge on top, 3-0. Jesus Patino is the head coach of the White Station Spartans. Oak Ridge coached by Ricky Norris, assisted by Travis Walls, Kenny Herring, and Wesley Jones. 3-0 Oak Ridge. They work the ball in, they throw the ball away. Quincy's got it on a steal. Quincy coming down the middle of the floor, dribbles all the way and pulls up, wants to go in for a shot. For that, he travels with the basketball. He had 2 guys trailing him on either side. Quincy took it in, his call for the travel.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. Quincy on that situation, he has to dish the ball off, Dave. Quincy, he was double teamed going down. He just cannot do that as Tyler Clark gets a steal for the Wildcats.
Tyler's going to shoot another 3 from the left corner. Good! 3-point shot. Tyler Clark, and Oak Ridge leads 6-0. Here comes White Station down the floor. 6:38 to play. It's been Tyler nailing 3-pointers from the corner. 6.5 minutes to play first quarter. White Station ball. They'll drive in. Number 44 off the glass shot. Good. They score with Farrakhan Hall. Here comes Oak Ridge back the other way. Jared Stevens will bring it across the line with the pass to Quincy Dowdell. 1-on-1 1-on-1 against Hall. Drives in, goes in for the layup. He scores. Quinche Dowdell off the glass, and Oak Ridge leads at 8-2. And a great move by Quinche.
Yeah, it was, Dave. Nice move by Quinche Dowdell on Farrakhan Hall. Just moving around the hall, getting the rebound up good. White Station Spartans take a free throw line jumper with number 33. That is Kalen Durham, and it knocks down good.
Down the floor with the basketball will come Oak Ridge. Their lead is 4. 5:58 to play first period. With the basketball, Oak Ridge's DeMarcus Rogers works the ball right, gives it out to Jared Stevens. Back to Tyler Clark. Tyler at the midcourt circle, works it out to Quinche, pulls up, fakes the three, drives in for the layup, gives it to Tyler for the shot. Instead, he's fouled. Personal foul called against White Station. Great fake on the shot by Quinche Dowdell. Dished it off to Tyler, and Tyler will go to the free throw line for the Wildcats. He has 6 of the Wildcats 8, and he'll go to the free throw line. Oak Ridge on top 8-4. 5 minutes, 43 seconds to play first period, and Clark will go to the line 2 shots.
Yeah, Dave, Tyler Clark is a 51% free throw line shooter. His first toss is up, and it is good. Tyler already has 7 points here in the first quarter alone. Haven't even played 3 minutes of full basketball yet.
Wildcat substitute for the first time. James Michael checks out of the ball game. Coming into the game now will come Josh Gregory. Oak Ridge on top 9-4. 5:43 to play first quarter. Tyler Clark to the free throw line. Second toss on its way, no good. Long rebound. Will come the Spartans. Coming down the floor, White Station. With the basketball will come Farrakhan Hall. Brings the ball across the line, picked up defensively by Josh Gregory at the top of the key. Pulls up, guns from the outside. It's in and out, no good. Rebound to Jared Stevens. Racing down the floor for the Wildcats. All the way down the floor, lost it and fouled. Personal foul called against number 4, Julian Burton, 5'9" sophomore for White Station. That'll be the second team foul called against White Station, and Oak Ridge will get the basketball underneath the goal. To work the ball in will be Jared Stevens. 9-4, Oak Ridge in the lead. 5:26 to play first quarter. Jared Stevens will work it in from the baseline. Looking, nobody comes free. Tyler does in the right corner. 5:25 and counting. First quarter action. Oak Ridge and White Station here at the state tournament. First of 4 AAA ball games tonight. Tyler outside the line, picked up by Hall. Needs help, gives it over to Jared Stevens, who drives in for a layup. Here it is. Good. Jared Stevens blows right past his defender, and Oak Ridge leads 11-4, and here come the Spartans down the floor. Here they come with it, slowly walking the ball up the floor will be their point guard, Joe Jackson. 6-foot sophomore, guarded by DeMarcus Rogers. Brings the ball across the midcourt line, dribbles in, penetrates, throws up a 15-footer, off the rim, no good. Quinche Dowdell on the rebound. Quinche quickly to the midcourt line, gives it over to Tyler Clark. Clark drives in, penetrates to the right, gives it off to Stevens for 3. On its way, no good. Long rebound, DeMarcus Rogers. Wildcats in the lead, 11-4. DeMarcus shakes, bakes, kicks it out to Clark. Tyler Clark can't get a shot off. Backs it up to Jared Stevens to the midcourt circle. Oak Ridge on top, 11-4. 4.5 minutes to play. We're in the first period. DeMarcus Rogers harassed. The 5-second count is on him. He backs it up. The defense breaks off of him, and he backs up to the midcourt circle. Finds Jared Stevens free. The Wildcats have Tyler Clark, Josh Gregory, Quinche Dowdell in the ball game. It's DeMarcus in the left corner, getting into Jared, to Josh, back to Tyler. Head fakes, drives all the way through. Wants to shoot, kicks it out once again to DeMarcus Rogers. Had Tyler in the left corner, couldn't get the ball to him. Brings the ball back to the top of the circle. DeMarcus drives in, pulls up, wants to shoot, blocked. Blocked that away by Farrakhan Hall. It'll be Oak Ridge basketball underneath the goal as Trey Smith comes in for the first time tonight. Checking out of the ball game will come to Marcus Rogers.
Yeah, Dave, the Wildcats right now having good ball control and ball movement, around especially the perimeter against the White Station Spartans defense. So Wildcats, just to keep that ball moving, eventually something will open up for them.
Quinche Dowdell wants to take his man wide open, gives a little 15-footer, it's up no good. Trey's got the rebound and backs it up wisely. Gives it out to Jared Stevens. Oak Ridge on top, 11-4, 3:48 to play first quarter. Jared Stevens stripped to the ball, but Tyler picks it up. Tyler Clark with it, gives it back to Jared Stevens. Jared drives in, gives it to Trey Smith off the glass, shot good! And Oak Ridge is up 13-4. Here come White Station down the floor. Joe Jackson all the way inside for a layup, good. Great penetration, he got all the way down the floor and the Wildcats want to run. Here goes to Tyler Clark. Tyler Clark's going to dribble outside the line, looks inside to Quinche, pulls up, guns it off balance, shot no good. Not a great shot for Tyler, a little off balance. Here come the Spartans quickly down the floor. Joe Jackson to the free throw line, shoots, good. Back-to-back buckets for them, and the Wildcat lead is cut to 5. 13-8 the score, 3:11 to play in the first quarter. Here comes Oak Ridge down the floor. Trey Smith will walk the ball across the midcourt line. 13-8, Wildcats in the lead, 3:03 to play first quarter. Trey Smith with the basketball, backs it up around a screen by Josh Gregory, no place to go, but giving it up to Tyler Clark in the left corner. Guarded by Farrakhan Hall, backs up in the corner, kind of a strange matchup right there as he works the ball out here to Jared Stevens. The Wildcats about to substitute 3 new players players in the ball game as Oak Ridge backs it up with Jared Stevens at the midcourt line. Guarded closely by number 4 for them, Julian Burton. He dribbles in, penetrates, pulls up, goes inside, wanting to shoot. They kick it out. Here's Quinche driving at the free throw line, all the way in for the layup. It's up. Good! Quinche Dowdell scores in the paint, and here come the Spartans down the floor. Oak Ridge back out by 7. Here they come down the floor, number 30. Dribbling into the right, they give it over to Hall. Farrakhan Hall works the ball along the baseline. They put up a shot up, no good. Quinche Dowdell on the rebound. Oak Ridge by 7 with the basketball. 2:16 to play in the first period. Here comes Jared Stevens down the floor. The Wildcats are about to substitute 4 new players in the ball game. Here they come. Jared Stevens with it over to Trey Smith. Around a screen, works the ball to the left, throws the ball away. Pass intercepted by number 4 for them. Julian Burton drives in for a dunk. They give it off to Hall. Wildcats just a bad pass by Trey. Turned it over, and here comes Oak Ridge back the other way. Their lead is 5. 15-10 the score. Here's Tyler Clark kicking it out to Stevens. Jared Stevens outside the three-point line. Dribbles, stops, pulls up, shoots, knocks it down. Jared Stevens hits the shot, and back the other way will come White Station. All the way down the floor, 7-point lead. Here's a steal by Jared. Gets the ball right, smacked away. And Trey Smith tries to save it out of bounds. Wildcats block a shot. I think it was Josh Gregory who swatted it away with 90 seconds to play in the first quarter. It'll be the Spartans with the basketball side midcourt. 1:33 to play. They'll try to work the ball in with Morrell. Morrell works the ball in. Top of the circle, it goes to Andre Hollins. He's 6 foot. He's a freshman. They work the ball to the right. Farrakhan Hall with the basketball. Thought about shooting a 3. He does. No, he's going to fake, drive, pull up, shoot off the glass. Good. Blew right past his defender, and Oak Ridge will try to work the ball in. Their lead is 5. 17-12. Down the floor with 1:16 to play in the first quarter. Oak Ridge leads 17-12. Here comes Oak Ridge with DeMarcus Rogers dribbling out the left. They've got Tucker Trent in the ball game. Jakari McClanahan's in as well. James Michael as Jakari drives in, penetrates, pulls up, shoots. Nice drive, missed the shot though. They get the rebound. Joe Jackson with the basketball. Joe dribbles, drives, stops. He's fouled. Gets a shot off, no good. The Wildcats get the ball inside. Jakari had a nice drive to go inside with it, but couldn't get the shot to fall. Personal foul called against the Wildcats. 54 seconds to play, not a shooting violation. Oak Ridge by 5, 17-12. The foul's called against the Wildcats, and that will be their first team foul, as Jesus Patino wanted some explanation, and he's actually warned by the official to get back in the coaching box, and the Memphis coach does that, and the officials give him a nice glare as they get the basketball underneath the goal. 54 seconds to play. Oak Ridge up by 5. They work the ball in, left corner, out to the top it goes. They work the around the top of the perimeter. They're in all green. The Wildcats are in all white. Farrakhan Hall pulls up, guns a 3. It's up, no good. It's a bad shot. Missed badly, and James Michael comes down with the rebound. Here it goes to DeMarcus Rogers. The Wildcats have their starters on the bench with the exception of James Michael. DeMarcus Rogers brings the ball across the time stripe. 30 seconds to play. DeMarcus Rogers works the ball to Tucker Trent. Tucker outside the line, dribbles right, penetrates in, needs help, kicks the ball back out to Rogers. 21 seconds to play. The Spartans of White Station will get the ball first as DeMarcus drives in, a little out of control, turns, spins, stripped to the ball, taken away and knocked out of bounds by White Station. 12 seconds to play, 17-12. White Station will get the ball first as we play in the second quarter. Wildcats trying to close out the first quarter on top. They lead it 17-12. The winner plays the winner of the Red Bank Dobbins Bennett ball game, which will be the next ball game tonight as Oak Ridge prepares to work the ball in. DeMarcus Rogers looks, fires, and it comes to Jared Stevens, who's back in the ball game. Jared Stevens dribbles to his right, finds Tyler Clark free. Tyler pulls up, guns a 3. It's up, no good. On the rebound, White Station. Farrakhan Hall is going to drive in for a dunk, but he's stripped to the ball and fouled by Tyler Clark, and that'll send him to the line. 0.8 seconds to play in the first quarter. Farrakhan Hall not only is a big guy, they list him as 6'9", he also likes to shoot from the perimeter, and he'll go to the free throw line. 2 shots. Oak Ridge by 5. 17-12 the score. Farrakhan Hall to the free throw line. 6'8" or 6'9", depending on who you talk to. His first free throw is good. Right-handed shooter. 4-point Wildcat lead. 0.8 seconds to play. White Station will get the ball first in the second quarter. Back to the free throw line he goes. White Station is out of Memphis, Tennessee. They shoot, and that one's missed. Rebound, Oak Ridge, as the first quarter comes to a close. Not a bad quarter of first quarter of basketball for the Wildcats. They lead it by 4, 17-13. Let's send it to Josh Murray. We'll be back to the Murphy Center in 60 seconds.
Blue Cross Blue, Tennessee.
Back here at the Murphy Center, the second quarter just underway. The Wildcats come out with James Michael, Quinche Dowdell, along with Jared Stevens, Tyler Clark, DeMarcus Rogers. Regional starting 5. Oak Ridge in the lead, 17-13. Their basketball, here it goes to the right side, out to the top. They get a shot up just inside the arc. It's up, and it is no good. Tipped and rebounded by Quinche. Quinche's been on the glass tonight, and Oak Ridge has a 4-point lead in the basketball. DeMarcus Rogers brings the ball across the line. The Wildcats have Jared Stevens in the game, Quinche Dowdell, James Michael, and Tyler Clark. 5-second count is on. DeMarcus breaks off contact and gives it over to Clark. Tyler Clark got it out high by Farrakhan Hall. He works the ball to Stevens. Bounce pass down low. Goes to Quinche with his back to the goals. Wants to drive in. Does. Pulls up. Shoots and scores. Quinche Dowdell just skilled Farrakhan Hall. And Oak Ridge's lead is back to 6. 19-13 the score. Here come the Spartans trying to get the ball across the line against the Oak Ridge press. They do on the right side. They work the ball in. They drive in to number 33. And the whistle blows. And an offensive foul is called against the Spartans. Set up either by Quinche Dowdell or James Michael. The Spartan who ran over the top of him was Andre Hollins. And the Oak Ridge basketball leading by 6, 19-13, 7:03 to play in the second quarter. Down the floor with the basketball will come Oak Ridge. And look at the crowd. The White Station players are looking into the crowd, almost oblivious to what's going on the floor. A little bit more concerned about that as Oak Ridge brings the ball down the floor here in a second. The official over to the scorers table. White Station picks up their third team foul. Here comes Oak Ridge down the floor. No pressure in the rear court. Does that surprise you?
Not really, Dave. They're just trying to set up, probably their rear back defense, with Farrakhan Hall, just get them all set up down low and just wait on somebody to drive in on them.
Quinche Dowdell pulls up, wants to drive in, does, pulls up, shoots, no good, gets his own rebound for a moment, taken away by White Station. They bring the ball down the floor, spinning with it, number 21, all the way through for a shot off balance. It is good. They score with Patrick Coleman, and Oak Ridge lead is cut to 4. 19-15 the score. With the basketball come Jared Stevens. Boy, they're athletic, Brian. As Jared works the ball out to Clark. Tyler Clark dribbles in at the free throw line, lost the dribble, goes inside and throws it away. Got pressured, and if Tyler steals the ball right back, then they get the ball right back themselves. Joe Jackson scores. It's a 1-point game. Wildcats, if you turn the ball over, it's going to be instant points for the Spartans, and the Wildcat lead is cut to 2.
That's exactly right, David. Those Wildcats are not going to be able to do today. You just can't cause turnovers. The Wildcats, if they turn the ball over, the White Station Spartans are going to take it down. They're going to get points out of it, so the Wildcats are going to have to really try not to turn the ball over. As Jared Stevens dribbles in the key and takes a shot, and it is good.
I was about to say, while you were talking, that Jared Stevens needs to get a little bit more involved in the offense as they bring the ball down the floor with it. Wildcat lead is 21-17. Farrakhan Hall stripped to the ball. Nice play, Tyler Clark and company. It's a loose ball on the floor. Jared's got it. It's a jump ball. The Wildcats will get it on the alternate possession. I like the hustle of the Wildcats. Both Stevens and Quinche were down on the floor. Oak Ridge leads by 4, 21-17. 5:39 to play in the second quarter as we play here at the Murphy Center. Tucker Trent will work the ball, and the Wildcats have substituted quite freely here in the first half. They lead it by 4, have never trailed. 5:34 to play second quarter. 21-17 the score. Oak Ridge with the basketball. DeMarcus Rogers to Jared Stevens. They give him a 3, a little bit of room. He works around a screen and shoots that 3. It's on its way. Good. 3-point shot, Jared Stevens, and the Wildcats build the lead back up to 7. And just as I was going to say a moment ago, they need to get Jared involved in the offense. He gives Oak Ridge a 7-point lead.
That's exactly right there. Jared Stevens now 9 points in the ballgame. He has 3 shots from the field and then a 3-point shot. Good for Jared. Jared, if they can get him involved in the offense, get him with a lot of points, that's a bigger chance for the Wildcats to come out with a win.
5 minutes to play in the ball game. Joe Jackson shoots and scores. Drove right in against his defender, and the Wildcat lead is cut to 5. 24-19 the score. Here comes Trey Smith down the floor. 24-19, 5-point game. Trey in the ball game along with Tucker Trent, DeMarcus Rogers. Trey turns the ball over. Now Tucker gets the ball right back. Wildcat substitute guys have been a little iffy with their ball handling here in the early going. Wildcats had DeMarcus Rogers in the ball game, Tucker Trent, Trey Smith, Josh Gregory, and Jared Stevens. DeMarcus needs a little help, drives in, going to drive past his men and back it up in the left corner. Back to Tucker, can't get the 3 off, goes to the top to Josh Gregory, back to Stevens, who kicks it over to DeMarcus Rogers. 4:20 to play. Wildcats don't have a shot there. DeMarcus looked like he was going to try to force one, backed it up wisely to Jared Stevens. Double teamed up high, dribbles, penetrates, gives it off to Tucker. Tucker a long 3, it's up, no good. Rebound out of bounds, last touch by White Station. The Oak Ridge basketball as the Spartans substitute. substitute back in the ball game will come Julian Burton. 4:05 to play second quarter. Oak Ridge by 5. Tyler Clark's coming back in the ball game. Quinche Diddell is not allowed to come back in the ball game. Oak Ridge ball underneath the goal, leading by 5. 24 to 19. They didn't allow Tyler to come back in. So the Wildcats are short a man. Let's see who they're going to have to get in. They blew the whistle, and they're going to allow, let's see, Tyler Clark to come back in the ballgame. Quinche is not going to be allowed to come back in. 24-19, Oak Ridge on top by 5. Wildcat basketball underneath the goal. Trying to work the ball in. Tyler Clark, Jr., looks, needs to do it soon. Works the ball in to Jared Stevens. He has to collect it back at the midcourt line. He swings it off to the left side to Tyler in the corner. Tyler Clark with the basketball. Gives it to Jared. Jared drives in. 8-footer is on its way. No good. Trey Smith on the rebound. Good, and he's fouled. Count the foul against number 33, Kalen Durham. And Oak Ridge will go to the free throw line with one shot upcoming, leading White Station by 7, 26-19, 3:53 to play second quarter. As White Station substitutes Farrakhan Hall back in the ball game. Also coming back in the ball game for them will be number 30, Marquette Morrell, as Trey goes to the free throw line.
And if you know, Trey Smith is a good free throw line shooter. He's an 82% free throw line shooter. Trey's first toss is up, and it is good, and he capitalizes on the three-point opportunity. Trey now has 5 points in the ball game.
Biggest lead of the day for Oak Ridge, 8 points, 27-19 the score. Here comes Joe Jackson with the basketball, guarded by Jared Stevens. Dribbles, pulls up, shoots. No good. Rebound, Trey Smith. Wildcats with an 8-point lead in the basketball. Trey dribbles past his man. Dribbles left. There's Tyler Clark. Left corner, shoots. No good. Rebound, Farrakhan Hall. He's got the basketball for White Station, bringing the ball to the midcourt line. Oak Ridge by 8, 3:26 to play second quarter. With the basketball, Julian Burton. Guarded out by Tyler Clark. 3:20 to play. Skip pass goes out to number 44, Farrakhan, out to the top once again. They get a 3 off. It's on its way. High floating shot. Brick. They get the rebound, though. Go right back up with the shot. No good. Rebound, Jared Stevens. Oak Ridge in the lead, and Coach Norris calls a timeout. 3:07 to play second quarter. Oak Ridge on top of Memphis White Station, 27-19. Let's take a quick break. We'll send it back to Josh Murray. We'll be back with second quarter action in 30 seconds. Welcome back to the Murphy Center. David Clary, Brian Leffler, Nick Suttles, along with James Branson, Taylor Lane, Josh Murray at the station. Oak Ridge in the lead by 8, 27-19. State tournament action here. 3:04 to play second quarter. DeMarcus Rogers brings the ball across the line, guarded by Patrick Coleman. Works it over to Quinche Dowdell. 2:57 to play. Quinche being hand check, goes back door. Nice play to Jared Stevens. The pass by Quinche, a little bit too much on it, and he turns the ball over. 2:53 to play, second quarter. Here comes White Station. Moving left to right, wearing all green jerseys. White trim, the Wildcats, and they're all white, cardinal, and black. Oak Ridge by 8, 27-19. 2:42 to play second quarter. With the basketball, Joe Jackson for 3. Clang off the iron, no good. Wildcats have got to do a better job rebounding. Farrakhan Hall gets it in for a shot, good. Wildcats have got to do a better job underneath the goal. That should have been their board. They had one green shirt around 3 whites, and the Wildcat lead is cut to 6. Here's Tyler across the time stripe. Works for room to get free and gives it over to DeMarcus Rogers. 2:20 to play first half. 6-point lead for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge playing with Tucker Trent. Tucker works the ball inside of Quinche, drives in for the layup. Here it is. He missed it. Oh, man. Good-looking shot, and the ball is picked up by Quinche. Stole it right away to Tyler Clark. Quinche pulls up, takes a 6-footer, and nails it. Wildcat lead is back to 8, 29-21. Down the floor, here's a steal by Jared Stevens. Jared works the ball to DeMarcus Rogers. Wildcats with the basketball. Here it goes Quinche. Quinche dribbling, stopping, giving it out. Tyler Clark, three-pointer left corner, no good. On the rebound will come the Spartans of White Station. Minute 45 to play. Good-looking shot by Clark, just couldn't get it to fall. Oak Ridge by 8, 29-21. A minute 39 to play first half. White Station basketball. Here it goes to Joe Jackson. Guarded by DeMarcus Rogers. He works the ball to the left side. Over it goes to Burton. Burton guarded by Jared Stevens. Here's a near steal by Tyler Clark. Saved on the floor by Patrick Coleman. 8-point game. Oak Ridge in the lead. Here comes Morrell falling down, driving in, pulling up. Ball ripped away by Jared and Tyler Clark. Wildcat basketball. Minute 17 to play first half. Oak Ridge by 8. DeMarcus Rogers brings the ball to the midcourt line. Minute 12 to play. Oak Ridge by 8, 29-21. Here comes DeMarcus driving, laying it in, and scoring. No defense at all. White Station, and Oak Ridge has a a 10-point lead.
Yeah, Dave, great, eye by DeMarcus Rogers, seeing that he had that wide open lane. Nobody was on defense down inside the paint. DeMarcus saw that himself. Excellent job by DeMarcus being able to read that. He took it all the way and he got some 2 points out of it, and DeMarcus gets his first 2 points of the ball game.
Here they come driving all the way in. Joe Jackson is fouled by Quinche Dowdell. It's only the third team foul called against the Wildcats. 43 seconds to play first half. Biggest lead of the day for Oak Ridge, 31-21 over Memphis White Station. As Oak Ridge substitutes, Tucker Trent out of the ball game. Also coming out, Quinche and Tyler Clark. James Michael back in the ball game. Trey Smith, Josh Gregory, Jared Stevens. Wildcats also, let's see, have somebody else I didn't mention. I guess that would be DeMarcus Rogers. They work the ball in, then it comes to Patrick Coleman. To Joe Jackson, got it by Trey. 40 seconds to play. He backs it up to the midcourt circle. 37 seconds and counting. Oak Ridge by 10. 31-21 the score. As we broadcast here from the scorer's table, Joe Jackson drives in, stripped to the ball. His shot is blocked by Josh Gregory, and a foul is going to be called against Josh. 10-point Oak Ridge lead, 28-9. Looking at the faces of the White Station Spartans, I think they're a little bit surprised the way the first half has gone.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. Probably they thought they were going to come out here and, just dominate the entire ball game. That's not the case. The Wildcats, came out and played their game. They're up by 10 points right now with 28.9 seconds to go in the half. Number 20, where the White Station Spartans goes to the free throw line, that is Andre Hollins. He knocks down his first shot. He'll have another one upcoming.
Wildcats substitute quickly. Back in the ball game, Quinche Dowdell. James Michael takes a seat. 28 seconds to play. 9-point advantage for Oak Ridge. 31-22 the score. The winner takes on the winner of the Red Bank Dobbins-Bennett ball game. That game will be at 5:15 Central Time. Second free throw is good. Oak Ridge with the basketball, facing pressure, and it comes to DeMarcus Rogers. Wildcats by 8 with the basketball, trying to close out the second quarter with a flurry here, trying to get some more points. They lead by 8. 20 seconds and counting. Man-to-man. Now DeMarcus Rogers up high, guarded closely by Hollins. He's going to drive all the way in, though. Get a shot off. No good. He's fouled. DeMarcus Rogers, once again, was allowed to drive and penetrate almost all the way to the hole. They close very slowly on defense, and DeMarcus will go to the free throw line. Oak Ridge by 8. DeMarcus should get 2 shots as Jakari McClanahan prepares to come in for Ricky Norris's Oak Ridge Wildcats. 13.7 seconds to play. Second quarter action, 31-23, Oak Ridge by 8. To the free throw line, DeMarcus Rogers. Thanks for listening to us wherever you might be on WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, or on the internet, prepradio.com. DeMarcus missed the free throw. DeMarcus has struggled a bit at the line as of late. Jared Stevens is going to take a seat. He's going to get the final 13 seconds off here in the first half as DeMarcus goes back for his second attempt.
Yeah, Dave, DeMarcus is a 47.1% free throw line shooter, so his first toss is up and it was no good. He'll have another one, though, and his second toss is up, and it is good.
Nothing but net, actually, and the Wildcats will put on a little pressure. 13 seconds to play. Here comes Joe Jackson down the floor for White Station. 32-23, 9-point advantage for the Wildcats. 6 seconds. Joe Jackson drives, penetrates, goes in for a shot, throws it up, no good. The first half is over. The Wildcats have a 9-point lead over a Memphis team. Oak Ridge crowd on their feet. A standing ovation for the hundreds of Wildcat fans who have made it to the Murphy Center here on this Thursday afternoon of state tournament basketball. Pretty good first half of game for the Wildcats, that is, Brian. The Wildcats have a 9-point lead steadily. Took the lead initially on the 3-point shot by Tyler Clark and have never trailed in the ballgame.
So looking at the statistics here from the first half of play, after the first quarter, the score was 17-13. Leading the way for the White Station Spartans is Farrakhan Hall. He has 9 points. Joe Jackson follows with 6. Kalen Durham has 4. Patrick Coleman and Andre Hollins each have 2. Leading the way for the Wildcats is Jared Stevens with 9, followed by Quinche Dowdell with 8 points. Tyler Clark has 7 points. Trey Smith has 5, and DeMarcus Rogers has 3. Again, halftime score 32-23. Wildcats on top.
Some other statistics here, Brian. Looking at the rebounding statistics, both teams have a total of 15 rebounds apiece. One statistic here I'm looking at is turnovers. White Station has turned the ball over 7 times in the first half to the Wildcats 4. And I kind of thought, especially with the way White Station has been playing their tough schedule down in Memphis, that they might just come out a lot looser than Oak Ridge. But Oak Ridge has come out extremely loose here tonight and have taken the fight to them and have been in control of the ball game the entire entire way. It's the Memphis team that looks like they were a little bit rattled coming out of the gate. Of course, there's still a lot of basketball to be played, and obviously this is an outstanding White Station team, but so far, so good, Brian.
That's exactly right, Dave. Wildcats have, held their own against the White Station Spartans here on the ongoing. Hopefully, the Wildcats, can keep up their intensity, keep up their momentum going in this ball game. Hopefully, come out with a win. The Wildcats, last time we met White Station, we lost. So hopefully, we can come out with a win this time around.
Second break here. Let's send it back to Josh Murray, back in the studios of AM 1290 WATO. 32-23 is our score. Oak Ridge on top by 9. They led by 4 after one quarter, 17-13. Let's send it back to Josh Murray. We'll be back to the Murphy Center for the second half of this ball game in 90 seconds. Back here at the Monty Hale Arena on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University, Oak Ridge on top of White Station, 32-23. The second half about set. Oak Ridge comes out with their original starting five: Tyler Clark, DeMarcus Rogers, Quinche Dowdell, James Michael, and Jared Stevens. White Station wearing all green and white. The Wildcats in their home whites and cardinal with a little black. White Station will be moving right to left as we start play here in the second half, and right out of the gate they hit a bucket. Joe Jackson scores. The Wildcat lead is 7. 32-25 the score. Joe Jackson is very, very quick.
That's exactly right, Devin. He's the one that moves their offensive ball up and down the court. That's one thing the Wildcats are just going to have to try to slow down, Joe Jackson, that offense.
Farrakhan Hall just fouled Quinche Dowdell, going up for a rebound after a Jared Stevens missed shot. Farrakhan picks up his first personal foul. Team foul number 1 called against White Station. Oak Ridge basketball underneath the goal. 7-point advantage for Oak Ridge, 32-25. DeMarcus Rogers works the ball in, and it comes to Jared, and it goes to Quinche. One-on-one, drives. That should be an offensive foul. It is. Ran right over the top of Farrakhan Hall. Didn't really have to do all that much pushing. I think he would have gotten an easy hook shot even if he had just gone over the top of him. So Wildcats pick up the personal foul. Their lead is 7. Got to come out with the same intensity we saw in the first half. The Wildcat lead is 7. 32-25. Can't let White Station back in the ballgame. 7.5 minutes to play third quarter. With the basketball, Julian Burton. Got it by Jared Stevens, one-on-one. Throws the ball to his right in the corner, right in front of their bench. It goes out to number 30. That'll be Morrell. As he drives in, he's hacked and fouled. Personal foul might go against Quinche, and that'll be his third personal foul. And that is exactly what we don't want to see right now. Quinche has been doing great work inside, offensively and defensively, and he just picks up a cheap one there.
And that's 2 fouls right off the bat against Quinche Dowdell. Haven't even played a minute of basketball in the second half. The Wildcats really do not want to get Quinche Dowdell in foul trouble as the White Station Spartans work the ball into Farrakhan Hall.
They get a shot off the glass. They score 4 straight. It's going to be up to Josh Gregory to come up with a big second half with Quinche having to sit on the bench. Oak Ridge's lead is 5. DeMarcus is out of control. Turn the ball over. The Wildcats are going to need a timeout. They're going to drive in, get a layup. Good. 6 straight points out of the break. See if Coach Norris calls the timeout. We haven't played a minute. The Wildcat lead has been cut to 3, and their pressure is beginning to cause Oak Ridge some difficulties. 32-29 the score. DeMarcus to the midcourt line. Dribbles to his left. Penetrates in. No place to go. Kicks it out to Jared. Three-pointer, they need it. No good. Rebound, Tyler Clark. Clark backs it up. Wildcat lead was 9. They've scored 6 straight points out of the break. Tyler Clark wide open for 3. No good. Rebound, White Station. Down the floor, layup. They miss it. Rebound to White Station. Blocked away by Jared Stevens, out of bounds. Wildcat lead was 9. It's 6 right now. 6:25 to play. It's been all White Station here in the first minute and 35. 32-29 the score. 3-point game. It was a 9-point game at the halfway. That is 6 points out of the break they've scored. 6:21 to play, third quarter. White Station basketball. Quinche on the bench now with 3 personal fouls. With the basketball, Patrick Coleman. Guarded by DeMarcus Rogers. Looks to Farrakhan Hall. Dribbles himself to the free throw line. Kicks the ball to the right corner. They don't like to shoot the 3, although they get one at the free throw line. They miss it. Rebound. Foul called against number 21. It'll go against Patrick Coleman. He shoves Tyler Clark trying to get the rebound. Oak Ridge has led the entire way. They lead by 3 now, 32-29. And, if you're Coach Ricky Norris, you got to sit Quinche probably the bulk of the third quarter here. Oak Ridge holding on to the lead here. Oak Ridge playing with James Michael, DeMarcus Rogers, Jared Stevens, Josh Gregory, and Tyler Clark. Here comes DeMarcus down the floor. The Wildcats look a little bit winded. DeMarcus Rogers with it over to Jared Stevens. Hands it off to the midcourt circle, back to Clark. Tyler Clark was on fire shooting the 3 threes as we started the ball game, but has missed his last 4 attempts. Jared stutter steps, dribbles, pulls out, gives it out to Clark. Tyler Clark holds the ball. 5:39 to play, guarded closely by Patrick Coleman. A few too many turnovers here in the open and going. Tyler's about to be trapped, needs help, gives it over to Jared Stevens at the midcourt line. Jared dribbles in, penetrates, and he's fouled. Personal foul called against White Station's number 33, Kalen Durham, 6'03" senior, 6'3" senior. Oak Ridge by 3, 5:28 to play, third quarter. The Oak Ridge basketball to work the ball in will be Tyler Clark. Wildcats have only scored 3 points. Actually, the Wildcats have yet to score here in the first few minutes of the third quarter. They still have the lead. Oak Ridge basketball, Josh Gregory with it. Wildcats trying to slow it down a bit right now with Josh Gregory and Jared Stevens. Wildcats need somebody to step up and take up the slack as Jared Stevens going to drive against Farrakhan Hall. Put it up there, no good. Rebound, out of bounds to, let's see, White Station, I believe. It is the case. Wildcats went in the tall trees, Jared Stevens did, with Farrakhan Hall, and Oak Ridge turns the ball over on the missed shot. Tyler's going to come out of the ball game. Trey Smith's going to come in. They can tie it with a 3, close the gap to 1 with a 2. 5:05 to play, third quarter, 32-29. Quincy Dowdell on the bench with 3 personal fouls. Here comes White Station, moving right to left, guarded by Jared Stevens. They work the ball here to the left. Here it goes to Patrick Coleman into Farrakhan Hall. Throws up a shot, no good. Josh Gregory, good defense, would not allow Farrakhan Hall inside, and the Wildcats have the rebound. Here they come with DeMarcus Rogers. DeMarcus dribbles in, penetrates, goes in for the shot. He's fouled. Foul called against Farrakhan Hall, and they're already beginning to infight with one another as the foul's called against the Spartans. And I believe it's going to go against number 33, Kalen Durham. That'll be his 3rd personal foul. Team foul number 4 against White Station. DeMarcus Rogers to the free throw line twice. 32-29, Oak Ridge by 4 as DeMarcus Rogers hits the free throw. 4 minutes, 41 seconds to play, third quarter. They'll substitute back in the ball game. Andre Hollins into the ball game. Checking out will come Patrick Coleman. They're leaving the guy with 3 fouls in the ball game. DeMarcus back to the free throw line one more time. Shoots it up there. Good. DeMarcus looked good on both of them, and Oak Ridge's lead is back to 5.
Yeah, that's right, Evan. Those are 2 key free throws by DeMarcus Rogers and knocked them both down good. DeMarcus has 5 points now. Now the Wildcats have a 5-point lead. Hopefully they can just build on that, just try to come out with a lead here going into the later part of the ball game.
Here come the Spartans down the floor. Oak Ridge on top by 5 once again. 34-29. They throw the ball left corner. Driving number 20. He's fouled by Tucker Trent. Tucker didn't get to the baseline in time and then took one step in front of him and is called for the blocking foul. That'll be the 3rd team foul called against Oak Ridge. Be White Station basketball underneath the goal. To work the ball in for them will be Andre Hollins. The winner plays the winner, the Dobbins-Bennett Chattanooga Red Bank ball game, which will be the next ball game. As they dribble in, Joe Jackson pulls up 15-footer. It's off balance, no good. Tucker Trent on the rebound. Wildcats by 5 with the ball. Here comes DeMarcus Rogers down the floor. 4:20 to play, third quarter. 34-29. DeMarcus lost his dribble, guarded aggressively by Julian Burton. Dribbles in, penetrates, goes in for the shot and scores. What an acrobatic shot by DeMarcus Rogers, and Oak Ridge is back up by 7.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. It's almost like DeMarcus Rogers just rolled up, Farrakhan Hall's back and took a shot, and that should be a charge out there, and it is. Charge against number 4 against the White Station Spartans, number 4, Julian Barton.
Big Josh Gregory just stood his ground, and he ran right over the top of him. Oak Ridge by 7. That'll be the 2nd foul called against him, against Morrell. It'll be the 15th foul called against White Station. 3:59 to play, third quarter. Oak Ridge by 7. 36-29. The Wildcats have the ball with Quincy on the bench with 3 personal fouls. Here comes DeMarcus Rogers down the floor. Here it goes to Jared Stevens. 36-29. 7-point advantage for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge with it. Tucker Trent, 3-pointer. Boy, they need it. Missed it. Rebound. Number 20 for them. That'll be Andre Hollins. Hollins to Joe Jackson. Jackson on a bounce pass. Gives it off to Farrakhan Hall. Gets a 15-footer off. That is an air ball. Rebounded right back up. No good. Again, no good. Up again. Good. By number 32. That'll be Durham, and they call a timeout. Oak Ridge's lead is 5. 3:31 to play, third quarter. Send it back to Josh Murray. 36-31 Oak Ridge. Back in 30 seconds. Back here on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge by 5 with a basketball. Jared Stevens, a breakaway opportunity, drives coast to coast, gets his shot blocked. Oh man, there's a lot of contact, but no foul. Wildcats will get the ball underneath the goal. Boy, Jared got hammered pretty good. He's smiling about it. The official underneath the goal said nothing except just a blocked shot, and boy, there was a lot of contact. Oak Ridge ball underneath the goal, leading by 5. Trey Smith will try to work it in, does, and throws the ball away. Intercepted by the Spartans. The Wildcats starters have been fairly solid. The substitutes have made a few mistakes as they get a shot off, no good. On the rebound, Jared Stevens. Wildcat basketball, and Jared is fouled this time. He got to call it, and he did. The older official, who we've had before in previous ball games, makes the call. The foul's called, I believe, against White Station's Joe Jackson. Was it against him, Brian? It was against Joe, and that'll be his first personal foul. Team foul number 6. So the Wildcats one foul away from shooting the one in the bonus from here on out. Wildcat lead is 5, 36-31. Quinche Dowdell back at the ball game, playing with 3 fouls. 3:15 to play third quarter. 5-point lead for Oak Ridge. Jared Stevens, Quinche Dowdell, Tyler Clark, Josh Gregory, Trey Smith in the ball game. Trey dribbles around a screen, dribbles in, no place to go but back. Tyler shoots a 3, no good. Rebound, Farrakhan Hall. The Wildcats hit their first threes, but have been stone cold ever since. 5-point advantage for the Wildcats, holding on over White Station. They work the ball to Farrakhan Hall, lost the ball out of bounds to Oak Ridge. Another good defensive effort by Josh Gregory on Farrakhan Hall.
Exactly right, Dave. You know, you can't do much better than what Josh did out there on the floor. You know, he just made Farrakhan Hall, try to go up for a shot and knock the ball out of bounds, and the Wildcats get the ball back here.
36-31, Oak Ridge by 5. 2:39 to play third quarter. Oak Ridge ball. Here goes to Trey Smith. The Wildcats and White Station, neither have scored a whole lot as Trey's about to turn the ball over. He's in a lot of trouble. Gives it over to Tyler Clark, to Trey. Free throw line jumper. Throws the ball down low. Quinche's got it with his back to the goal. Wants to shoot. Fadeaway jumper is good. Pretty shot. Quinche Dowdell. And Oak Ridge's lead is 7. Here comes White Station down the floor. They are the Spartans. Driving right around the middle of the floor comes number 30, Morrill. Kicks the ball to the left corner. They kick it out to the top. 2:10 to play third quarter. 7-point advantage for the Wildcats. It was 9 at the end of the third quarter. Here comes Farrakhan Hall shooting and scoring. Boy, Quinche went up for him, but couldn't guard him. He has the 3 fouls as Oak Ridge brings the ball down the floor, up by 5 again. 38-33. Oak Ridge in the lead. 1:52 to play third quarter. Oak Ridge basketball. Quinche Dowdell gives it over to Tyler Clark. Clark around a screen by Quinche. Dribbles to his right. Where's Jared? He's on the right side. The Wildcats also have Josh Gregory in the ball game. Tyler dribbles, lost his dribble, saved on the floor by Quinche, gives it out to Tyler. Tyler drives, kicks it out to Trey along the baseline. Trey swings it out. Jared Stevens penetrates, no place to go but to Josh Gregory. Oh, he's out of trouble. He gives it out to Jared. He pops in a shot. Good. Jared Stevens made a big save because Josh Gregory looked like he was about to turn the ball over as the ball's deflected and intercepted by Trey Smith, and then he's going to be pushed out of bounds, and they lose it out of bounds. The Wildcats will turn the ball back over, up by 7 over White Station. 1:17 to play third quarter. Oak Ridge fans saw what I saw. That was Trey Smith getting pushed, and he went out of bounds with the ball as Oak Ridge substitutes Jared Stevens out of the ball game. White Station ball. 40-33, a 7-point advantage. They're trying to get the ball in. What's the call? A personal foul, holding foul against Tyler Clark. That'll be the 3rd team foul called against Oak Ridge. The 2nd foul against Clark. 1:17 to play third quarter. Tucker Trent comes back in the ball game. Quinche's going to take a seat for the final 1:17. You don't want him to get a cheap 4th foul in the final 1:17. The Wildcats will not put any pressure on them. 7-point advantage for the Wildcats. Here they come down the floor. Wildcats have got to pick up their assignments. Here it goes out to Holmes. He works the ball to a new guy in the ball game. Darrell Wright playing for the first time. Must be a good shooter. He's going to drive the baseline, throws up a shot and scores. The one official's not calling anything. 5-point game, the Wildcats in the lead. One official underneath the goal really is just let him play, I guess, as Tyler is in a lot of trouble. Trey dribbles right. He's in trouble, gives it out to Gregory. Tucker Trent, back it goes to DeMarcus Rogers. 50 seconds to play third quarter. DeMarcus shaking and baking, dribbling, driving, pulling up, shooting, and missed it. Rebound, Farrakhan Hall. Just rolled off the rim. Wildcats going to get back on defense as the ball is ripped away by Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson puts it up there, no good. Trey's got the rebound. Oak Ridge, we'll get a breakaway. It's going to be a dunk. Josh Gregory, 2-hand jam. Josh Gregory, and Oak Ridge's lead is 7. 42-35 the score. Here they come down the floor. White Station drives in, and they work the ball, and a foul is going to be called against Josh Gregory. on the floor, not a shooting violation. 7-point advantage for the Wildcats. Josh Gregory was a snowbird, and he got a two-hand dunk.
That's exactly right, Dave. That was awesome. Got to have all the crowds back into the ball game here. Josh pretty much just waited on the opposite side of the court. If they got a steal, launched the ball all the way down to him. Josh just, caught the ball easily, went up and just hung on the rim there for a second or two.
They pop in another shot, though. White Station just will not go away. 15 seconds to play. Oak Ridge by 5. 42-37 the score. The Wildcats will get the ball first in the fourth quarter. Jared trying to hit a three to end the quarter. He missed it. Rebound, Farrakhan Hall. 5 seconds. They get a breakaway opportunity. He's going to take a three instead. It's up, no good. Tip, no good. DeMarcus has the rebound as the third quarter comes to a close. In 8 minutes of basketball, one of these two teams' season will be done. The other will be moving on to play either Dobbins, Bennett, or Red Bank. We'll be back for the fourth quarter in 60 seconds. Back here at the state basketball tournament, the Farm Bureau Insurance State Basketball Tournament. Oak Ridge by 5 with the ball. The Wildcats see Joe Jackson foul Jared Stevens, and Jared's going to go to the free throw line. That is the 7th team foul called against the White Station Spartans, and Jared Stevens will go to the free throw line. 5-point advantage for Oak Ridge, 42-37, 7:51 to play in the ball game. Jared will have two shots, one in the bonus, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. Jared Stevens goes to the free throw line. He's a 74% free throw line shooter. Hopefully, Jared can knock down this first one, get that second one as well. So, Wildcats up 42-37 here, fourth quarter, since somebody's season. Jared's first shot is up, and it is good, and he'll have the bonus.
43-37, Oak Ridge by 6. The Wildcats trying to make it to the semifinals to play either Chattanooga Red Bank, a team they've played already this year, or Kingsport Dobbins Bennett, a team they haven't played in 3 or 4 years. They lead by 6. A lot of basketball to be played. 43-37 the score. Jared Stevens back to the free throw line. Shot is good. Wildcat lead as 7 points once again. 44-37 over Memphis White Station. Wildcats played White Station in '96, lost to them by 9 here at the state tournament. Oak Ridge back on defense. 7:49 to play. This is a good White Station team. They've got the basketball, number 10 with it. Darrell Wright turns, spins, drives, shoots, and scores. Wildcat defense kind of broke down there for a second as DeMarcus is fouled by Joe Jackson. DeMarcus Rogers is picking up his third personal foul. DeMarcus will go back to the other end of the floor and shoot one in the bonus. That is the 8th team foul called against White Station. 7:37 to play. It's going to be key if Oak Ridge can hit these free throws down the stretch. DeMarcus hit his last 2. Jared Stevens hit his last 2. DeMarcus is going to have one in the bonus here. Oak Ridge by 5, 44-39. Their basket on the other end of the floor, though, is way too easy as DeMarcus goes to the line.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. The Wildcats, I think what they're trying to do now is just, trying to hold off on their fouls late in this ball game, so they're pretty much allowing the White Station Spartans to drive down as DeMarcus Rogers misses his free throw.
And then the rebound is pulled down by number 33, Kalen Durham, who got it and fell down. So Oak Ridge will get the ball right back. James Michael comes out of the game. 5-point lead for Oak Ridge, 7:35 to play. Wildcats came out and hit their first 2 threes. I don't think they've hit one since, as Oak Ridge prepares to work the ball in. Trey Smith looks, fires it in to Quinche Dowdell. Quinche holds the ball outside the line. 7.5 minutes to play in the ball game. Oak Ridge by 5. Wildcats have got to continue to be aggressive here. That's what they've been all night, although they spread the floor a bit, as they spread it out just a bit, a little man-to-man. Quinche one-on-one against Farrakhan Hall. Dribbles out to the right. You don't want to pick up a cheap offensive foul that way. Oak Ridge basketball. DeMarcus with it. DeMarcus dribbles in, penetrates, stops, pops, shoots. No good. Rebounded by Farrakhan Hall. Here comes Farrakhan all the way down the floor, guarded by Jakari McClanahan. He's going to drive in. He's a little out of control. They work it out to number 20. Then DeMarcus nearly picked his pocket. 5-point Wildcat lead. The Wildcats cannot get any more separation. 7 minutes to play in the ballgame. 44-39. The Wildcats trying to hold on. White Station has never led, but you kind of get this feeling here. It's kind of a sick feeling right now that they're about to make a little bit of a move here as they work the ball back in. In the rear court, they've got it. Joe Jackson with it, 6-foot point guard. Guarded by Jared Stevens. Works the ball to his left. Jared right on him. He dribbles past him. Penetrates to his right. Turning, spinning. Bumped. Pulls up. Shoots. Missed a shot. They get the rebound. No good. 3-point game. The Wildcats need some offense. Ball comes into Jared Stevens. Wildcat lead is 3. 44-41. Jared down the floor. Out of control. Kicks it out to the right. DeMarcus drives in. He's fouled. And he'll shoot free throws. Foul is going to be called against Kalen Durham. DeMarcus will get 2 shots here. Oak Ridge's lead is 3. They led by 9 at the halfway mark. They've led the entire way, but White Station increasingly making this interesting as the 4th foul is called against Kalen Durham. DeMarcus will have 2 shots. Got to hit these free throws. Good. DeMarcus a little shaky in his last attempt, but he nails that one with ease, and Oak Ridge's lead is 4. 45-41 the score, 6.5 minutes to play in the game. James Branson, Taylor Lane, Nick Suttles, our camera personnel. Got Brian Leffler beside me, along with Josh Murray back at the station. 45-41, DeMarcus' second toss pretty. Wildcat lead is back to 5, 46-41, 6.5 minutes to play in the game. An eternity, Brian Leffler, for the Wildcats.
That's exactly right, Dave. Still a lot of basketball to be played here. The White Station Spartans are down by 5 points. 6:30 to go in the ball game. The Wildcats still have a lot of time to try and hold off the Spartans.
Wildcats need a good stop defensively. Farrakhan Hall, guarded by Quinche Dowdell, backs it up to the free throw line. They look for a drive. They'll drive in. They get a shot blocked. No good. Rebound, again no good. Pulled away by Josh Gregory, who's really stepped it up big for the Wildcats tonight. DeMarcus Rogers brings the ball down the floor. 5-point game, 46-41. DeMarcus dribbles around a screen by Gregory, needs to back it up. 5-second count is on. DeMarcus needs to start doing something. He works the ball in. He dribbles in, gives it in. Trey, little 8-footer is good. Big shot by Trey Smith, and Oak Ridge's lead is back to 7.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. Huge shot by Trey Smith. Trey has 7 points now. DeMarcus dished in, and he was way too out of control. Joe Jackson was, but they're going to call a blocking foul against the Wildcats. Joe Jackson brought the ball down for the Spartans. Now, I thought he was way, out of control, but they call a blocking foul against DeMarcus Rogers.
They're going to rule him in the act of shooting, although he was the guy out of control. The officials are talking about it, though, as the Wildcats currently lead by 7. They're going to say he was not in the act of shooting. I guess that's why. 7-point advantage for Oak Ridge. 5 minutes, 44 seconds to play. 7-point lead for the Wildcats. We're in the 4th and final quarter. As they work the ball in, they get a 3 off. It's on its way. No good. Trey Smith on the rebound. Wildcats by 7 with the ball. Here comes DeMarcus going coast to coast. Dribbling, driving, backing it up wisely. Oak Ridge. Quinche Dowdell. He's going to drive in. Little 8-footers on his way. No good. Quinche strips him of the ball and picks up his 4th foul. Wildcats pick up another cheap foul. Quinche's got 4 fouls now. But Josh Gregory has really stepped up his game tonight, Brian.
Exactly right. Now, Josh Gregory, has a lot of rebounds for the Wildcats, and he's really putting that defense on Farrakhan Hall and doing a good job at that. So Joe Jackson will go to the free throw line. He was fouled by Quinche Dowdell. Quinche probably has to go over and sit on the bench because we definitely do not want to foul him out of this ball game with a lot of time left.
5:28 to play. 7-point Oak Ridge lead. To the free throw line, Joe Jackson. 1 in the bonus. Here's the 1. He'll get the bonus. Shot good. 48-42 as Tucker Trent comes in the ball game. Checking out will come Quinche Dowdell with his 4th personal foul. 5:28 to play in the game. 6-foot point guard Joe Jackson to the free throw line. 6-point lead for Oak Ridge. Jackson, good-looking player. Hits both tosses, and Oak Ridge will face minimal pressure in the rear court. Here comes Oak Ridge down the floor with Jared Stevens. 5:24 to play. Jerry brings it across the line. Dribbles in to the top of the circle. Oak Ridge in the lead by 5 with the ball. Jared pulls up, off-balance 15-footer. It's not the shot they wanted. But then Jared steals the ball right back and then steps out of bounds with it. I don't think that's the shot that they want right at that point, although, Jared is, capable, obviously, of making that. The Wildcats turn the ball over, need a stop on defense. You're the team in the lead. You might want to go for the better shot as they work the ball in to Joe Jackson, and a holding foul is called against Jared. That'll be the 8th team foul against Oak Ridge. Cannot allow them to get back in the ball game with no clock ticking off the clock. 5-point game. They can cut it back to 3. 5:11 to play in the game. 48-43. And once again, it's Joe Jackson at the free throw line. 1 in the bonus. He hit his last 2 free throws. He's got his team to within 5 right now. Oak Ridge on top, 48-43. 5:11 to play in the ball game. Joe Jackson, 1 in the bonus. Shoots, good. Guy's got a pretty stroke. Closes the gap back to 4. The Wildcats saw the girls self-destruct like this in the last part of the ball game in the Wilson Central ball game. Wildcats have got to take care of the ball and do what they do best as they hit the free throw. And once again, Oak Ridge will work it into Jared Stevens. Wildcats up by 3, 48-45, 5:07 to play. Jared brings the ball across the line, guarded aggressively by Joe Jackson. Next foul for the Spartans will put Oak Ridge on the double bonus as Jared Stevens drives in against Farrakhan Hall and scores right over the top of him. That's a great drive by Jared, and the Wildcat lead is back to 5. Back on defense goes Oak Ridge. Joe Jackson down the floor, 4:48 to play in the ballgame. 50-45, the Wildcats in the lead. Joe Jackson works the ball down the left side, looks down low to Farrakhan Hall. Quinche's on the bench as Joe Jackson drives in, gets a shot blocked, rebound to Farrakhan, he shoots and scores. Then White Station calls a timeout. The Wildcats lead is only 3. 4.5 minutes to play. Timeout, White Station. Let's send it back to Josh Murray. We'll be back to the state tournament in 30 seconds. David Clary, Brian Leffler back here along with our engineer Josh Murray, our camera personnel James Branson, Taylor Lane, and Nick Settles. Appreciate Bob McNeese and Ann McNeese for helping us out with our broadcast today, along with Terry Mullins at Mullins Performance Car Wash, and of course Dean Orr Surveying, who also helped us out. We appreciate them greatly, along with our other sponsors on WATO. 4.5 minutes to play in the ballgame. Quinche Dowdell is going to come back in the ballgame and play with 4 fouls as Oak Ridge has the lead. Tyler Clark, Quinche Dowdell, the ball game. DeMarcus Rogers, Jared Stevens. Here's Quinche down the floor, guarded by Farrakhan Hall. Works the ball to Clark. Oak Ridge in the lead by 3. 4 minutes, 22 seconds and counting in the ball game. DeMarcus Rogers with it. The next foul by the White Station will put Oak Ridge on the double bonus. 4:15 to play in the game. Oak Ridge by 3 points, 50-47. Quinche Dowdell outside the line, looks down low to Josh Gregory, finds Jared Stevens free, and then the ball is thrown away. Ball was trying to be a bounce pass to Josh Gregory. He just couldn't handle it. Ball goes out of bounds. The Wildcats still in the lead, but they've got to go back on defense, and they got to stop White Station here. 4 minutes and counting. Oak Ridge by 3, 50-47. Joe Jackson walks the ball down the floor. The winner advances to play either Dobbins-Bennett or Red Bank High School tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time here from the Murphy Center. Joe Jackson dribbles, penetrates, throws up a 15-footer. It's no good. Rebound to White Station. Then they get a 3 off to tie it. He missed it. Rebound, Josh Gregory to DeMarcus Rogers. Wildcat basketball. Somehow those 2 shots didn't go as DeMarcus gives it into Quinche for the shot. Good. Big drive, and Coach Norris calls a timeout. Somehow, on the other end of the floor, Brian, they had a couple good-looking shots. They just would not go for them, and Oak Ridge has built the lead back to 5. 3 minutes, 31 seconds to play. Why don't you run down some of the scoring to this point in the ballgame?
All right, Dave, at the end of the first quarter, the score is 17-13. Oak Ridge one's on top. Oak Ridge led the entire ballgame, so at the half, the score is 32-23. At the end of the third quarter, 42-37. Leading the way for the Wildcats right now is Jared Stevens. He has 15 points. Quinche follows behind him with 13. Leading the way for the White Station Spartans is Joe Jackson. He has 14 points. Farrakhan Hall has followed closely behind him with 13 points. Hopefully there is 3:30 left in somebody's season out here on the floor, and hopefully this time it'll be the Wildcats.
The Wildcats led 17-13 after one quarter, had a 9-point lead at the halfway mark. 32-23, led 42-37. Thanks a lot, Brian. I didn't hear you say that. I knew you'd be right on top of it, but the Wildcats have led since the beginning when Tyler Clark nailed a 3-pointer in the corner to give Oak Ridge the lead. Oak Ridge has never trailed, but it's been close the entire way. It's a 5-point advantage for Oak Ridge right now. 3.5 minutes to play. 52-47. Here comes Farrakhan Hall down the floor. They bring the ball across the line. Farrakhan dribbling right in front of his own bench. 52-47, a 5-point advantage for the Wildcats. White Station basketball. They're out of Memphis, Tennessee. They're wearing all green and white. Wildcats wearing their home whites. As they look at a 3, they won't take the shot. Here it goes. Left side it goes. Farrakhan Hall fakes the 3. Trey Smith guarding him. He dribbles in against Josh Gregory. Will not shoot. Backs it up once again to their right. Good defense by Oak Ridge. 30 seconds off the clock, and they've yet to score. Oak Ridge still by 5. Now they throw up a shot. It's good for 3. Wow. Big shot that time, and Oak Ridge's lead is cut to 2, the closest it's been in a long time. Here comes DeMarcus Rogers, shaking and baking, behind the back dribble, waits for his teammates, then lost the ball, grabs it, pulls up, shoots and scores. DeMarcus Rogers hits the bucket. Oak Ridge back up by 4. 2:38 to play, 54-50. Their first 3 I think they've hit in the ballgame was just a moment ago.
Yeah, exactly right. Their first 3-point of the ballgame, and Joe Jackson takes another 3-point shot, and he nails it.
Back-to-back threes, and Oak Ridge's lead is 54-53, 2:22 to play. Here's Quinche Dowdell down the floor. Quinche brings the ball to the midcourt line, needs help, gets rid of it, and throws the ball away, and they're going to take the lead. They lead. Wildcats should have called a timeout at the midcourt line. Quinche turns it over, and the Wildcats, for the first time tonight, trail in the ball game. Joe Jackson is as good as they've promised he was. He's hit back-to-back threes, and then the Wildcats give up the first lead of the night with 2 minutes to go in the ball game.
Yeah, it's exactly right, Dave. Joe Jackson, 2 consecutive three-point shots. Obviously proving that he is a clutch player. There's no doubt in my mind that he is one of those, type of clutch players here in the last part of the ball game. 2 minutes left. Wildcats down by 1. They're going to have to, keep the ball and try not to commit any fouls going into the ball game late.
55-54, Memphis White Station on top. Oak Ridge has the ball. Quinche playing with 4 fouls. Will try to work the ball in. Needs 2. Does to Tyler Clark. 55-54. Minute 58 to play in the ball game. Wildcats in the lead the entire way until just a moment ago. Unbelievable. Quinche Dowdell one-on-one against his man. Had Jared Stevens early. No place to go. Gives it back out to DeMarcus Rogers. Minute 43 and counting. The Wildcats trailing by a point. Just like the girls, the Wildcats led the most of the fourth quarter of that game last week, but then only to see it unravel in the final 2.5 minutes. Tyler Clark with the basketball to Quinche, dribbling, driving, wants to shoot, kicks it out. Jared Stevens, three-pointer. It is no good. And they've got the rebound. Looks like White Station is going to come away with a victory over the Wildcats. Minute 19 to play. The Wildcats see White Station call a timeout. It's a good-looking shot by Jared Stevens. But unbelievably, after leading the entire way, Brian, the Wildcats have given up the lead. They've given up the ball, and there's only a minute 17 to play. They need a stop on defense. They've got to play solid defense. They cannot give up anything easy. They cannot give up a shot and foul. They have got to play good, solid defense as Coach Ricky Norris and his guys huddle on the Oak Ridge sideline. Oak Ridge trails by a point, 55-54, and the White Station crowd is back into it. What happened, Brian? Hard to describe. I kind of got that feeling that things were kind of turning a little bit, even though I thought the Wildcats have outplayed them the entire game. Then an individual player, Joe Jackson, has just stepped it up. Of course, Quinche Dowdell in little foul trouble, had to sit quite a bit and can't be quite as aggressive, but that turnover there at the midcourt line just unbelievable. It just really hurt them. Of course, the great shooting of Joe Jackson, too. Can't take anything away from White Station. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm not even trying to put blame on any of the Wildcats, but that one crucial play was really, really big. As the Wildcats trail by 1, have got to get their act together defensively here. Still a lot of time. There's only a 1-point game. 55-54, just can't give up anything easy. As they work the ball into Joe Jackson, minute 16 to play, White Station by 1. 55-44, Joe Jackson dribbles out to the right, just can't let him play keep away the rest of the way. Jackson got it by, here's a steal momentarily, saved by them. I thought Jared was going to get out from DeMarcus. Minute to play in the ball game, they trap, they work it out here to the top. Joe Jackson got it by Jared Stevens, harassed, the 5-second count was on. He dribbles to his right, dribbles out to the top, and what's the call? It's a holding foul against Oak Ridge. Wildcats trail by a point. I don't think I want Joe Jackson at the free throw line because he's nailed everything tonight. Oak Ridge trails by 1, 55-54. And it's Joe Jackson at the free throw line.
Yeah, exactly right there. That's the person who you do not want to send to the free throw line. He is 4 of 4 tonight. He has 20 points in the ball game. That's the most person you don't want to send to the free throw line. But unfortunately, they fouled Joe Jackson, and he'll have 1 in the bonus here. And Joe's first shot is up, and it is good.
Oak Ridge trails now by 2, 56-54 after leading the entire ball game. The Wildcats give it up in the final 2 minutes of the game. They trail now by 2. Joe Jackson back to the free throw line. UT is interested in him as a point guard. He's only a sophomore. He's tough. 6-foot player. Puts up the toss. We need a 3-point shot just to tie now. He hit them both. Wildcats have seen the White Station Spartans make a little run here, trying to end Oak Ridge's season here. Wildcats trail by 3, 57-54. Quinche Dowdell will work it into DeMarcus Rogers. Wildcats need some points. They don't necessarily need a 3 right now, but they definitely need to score. DeMarcus Rogers outside the line, dribbles in. Wildcats got to get going here. Jared Stevens dribbles, penetrates, drives in, gets a layup. He missed it. Trey's got the rebound, falls down, and lost it out of bounds. Great hustle by Trey Smith. White Station 36 seconds away from beating Oak Ridge after the Wildcats have led the entire game. Oak Ridge needs to stop on defense. Here they work the ball in. It comes to Joe Jackson. Don't foul him. No, it is going to be a foul against Jared. Joe Jackson's going to shoot free throws and salt this game away. He is perfect from the free throw line as Jared Stevens picks up his third personal foul. Joe Jackson the line still. That's the double bonus in effect. Oak Ridge down by 3, 57-54, 33 seconds to play. Unbelievable. The Wildcats have just had the lead the entire game and not going to be able to hold it. Free throw, good. 4-point game. White Station fans going ballistic here. Basketball season for the Wildcats is 33 seconds away from its end unless the Wildcats can rally here in the next few minutes. Back to the free throw line, Joe Jackson, 58-54 the score. Toss, good. Joe Jackson has made the plays when it has mattered, and he's going to come over and take a seat as the timeout is asked for. Wildcats are down 5, Brian. Looks like Wildcats, only 33 seconds to play. It looks like White Station is going to move on. And, of course, they'll play the winner of the Kingsport Red Bank ball game. Wildcats still a glimmer of hope. They've been outscored here in the fourth quarter. Oak Ridge has only scored 12 points to their, it looks like 22 here in the fourth quarter. Figure that math up for me there, Brian. I'm having trouble doing that here. I believe it's they've outscored Oak Ridge 22-12 here in the fourth quarter. As with 33 seconds to play, the Wildcats trail by 5, 59-54. As the White Station Spartans go back on defense, they've got back in the ball game number 4, Julian Burton in the ball game. Farrakhan Hall back in. Wildcats have got to get some scoring quickly. 33 seconds to play with DeMarcus Rogers, Jared Stevens, Tyler Clark, Quinche Dowdell, and Tucker Trent. Wildcats will get the basketball. They can't afford to waste a lot of time. They got to get points quickly. As DeMarcus works it into Jared Stevens, and Jared's going to bring the ball across the line. Jared's going to drive left, give it off to Tucker. Big three-pointer. It's no good. Rebound. White Station had it, and then a foul is going to be called somehow, some reason, against Julian Burton. They call a foul against them.
Yeah, you know, Dave, here in the fourth quarter, the White Station Spartans have outscored the Oak Ridge Wildcats 22-12.
I was right. I was doing that math. 25.5 seconds. It'll be Oak Ridge at the free throw line. Jared Stevens will go to the free throw line. He's got 15 points in the ball game. 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Needs both of them. 25 seconds to play. Oak Ridge trails 59-54. Hit the first one good. Wildcats trail by 4, 59-55. 25 seconds to play. Both teams are on the double bonus. The possession arrow is in the favor of the White Station Spartans. Quinche Dowdell's in the ballgame. Tucker Trent, Josh Gregory, Jared Stevens, along with DeMarcus Rogers. 59-55. White Station in the lead. Jared Stevens needs to make this free throw to make it a one-possession game. He does. As possession, the Wildcats substitute Tucker out of the ball game. Trey Smith's back in. The Wildcats need a steal here. 25.5 seconds to play. And they'll try to work the ball in. White Station will. They will, and it comes into Farrakhan Hall, and he's fouled by Quinche, and that is his 5th personal foul. That's probably not the guy we needed to commit the foul, but to stop the clock, they needed somebody around the ball, and it happened to be big number 3. And that's his 5th foul. He fouls out with 24 seconds to play, and that'll send 6'9" Farrakhan Hall to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. You know, Farrakhan Hall today from the free throw line is only 1 of 1. He has 13 points, but Quinche Dowdell's season could end here. 24.1 seconds to go. Quinche fouls out of the ball game.
His career could be over right now. He came into the ball game with 2,012 points, I think, coming into the game. I think he has 13 in the ball games. That gives him an even 2,025 as the Wildcats trail by 3, 59-56. Double bonus in effect for Farrakhan Hall. Only 24 seconds left in the ball game. Wildcats trail 59-56. Farrakhan will have 2 shots. The 6'9" player missed the shot. He'll have another one, though, trying to make it a 2-possession ball game. Of course, Oak Ridge fans needing a miss right here. The Wildcats will be playing, even if they get it to overtime, without Quinche Dowdell. Farrakhan Hall trying to make it a 2-possession game. He does. Hits the toss. Wildcats now need 4. Tucker works it into DeMarcus Rogers. The Wildcats down 60-56, 21 seconds to play. DeMarcus dribbles, stops, drives, shoots, and scores. Calls a timeout. Nice drive by DeMarcus Rogers. The Wildcats close the gap to 2 points here, 60-58. Still a lot of time left, Brian, because Norris and his staff will try to devise a plan to try to steal the inbound. You know, they did it against Bearden several times, but great drive by DeMarcus Rogers. A 2-point game. White Station on top, 60-58. Yeah,
that's right, Dave. You know, a 2-point ball game right here. The Wildcats, you know, if they can get a steal here, you know, maybe get a shot up and tight, at least go into overtime, or, you know, even maybe a 3-point shot, maybe try to win the ball game here. 60-58. The White Station Spartans on top. You know, it's just amazing. The Wildcats led the entire ball game until about 2 minutes to go in the ball game, and all of a sudden, White Station Spartans get a couple points here and there. You know, gain the lead. You know, build on that, and now the Wildcats all of a sudden just can't come back.
Joe Jackson hit a couple big threes as the big player that he is. Wildcats had a couple turnovers as well. Look at the turnovers there and see where they tend to be right now as the Wildcats trail by 2. There's 15 seconds to go in regulation. Of course, the Wildcats will try to steal it. Brian?
The turnovers, Dave, are 10-11. Wildcats have 10 turnovers. Spartans have 11.
It was 7-3 at the halfway mark, so Wildcats have had their share in the second half as they prepare to work the ball in. 15 seconds to play. Joe Jackson tripped and falls. It's a holding foul against the Wildcats. No time off the clock. If there's anything good about it, there's no time off the clock. Foul's called against the Wildcats. It's going to be Jared Stevens picking up his 4th personal foul, I believe they said. And to the other end of the floor, unfortunately, goes Joe Jackson. No time off the clock. 60-58, a 2-point game. Double bonus in effect. Joe Jackson shooting free throws. 60-58 the score. Brian's right. Oak Ridge has led the entire game into the 2-minute mark of the 4th quarter. They trail by 2. Joe trying to make it a 4-point game. The first toss is good. Wildcats need a 3 to tie. Need a miss right here as Tucker Trent, a good 3-point shooter, comes into the game for the Wildcats. Josh Gregory checks out. Quinche's on the bench. He's fouled out. His career at Oak Ridge might be over. Second toss, good. 4-point game, back to a 2-possession ball game. The Wildcats got Trey Smith in the ball game, Tyler Clark, DeMarcus Rogers, Jared Stevens, Tucker Trent. Here comes Oak Ridge, 15 seconds to play. Jared runs the ball down the floor, dribbles, gives it out to Tyler. Can't waste any time, got to shoot a 3. Tyler does. It's no good. Rebound, jump ball. Oh, there should be a jump ball. It's going to be a personal foul against Oak Ridge. I think it's going to go against DeMarcus. The game is over. The Wildcats are going to be defeated here in their final game at the state tournament. To the other end of the floor we go. There's only 5 seconds left in the game. White Station up by 4 after trailing the entire ball game. To the free throw line, Kalen Durham. The Wildcats in a 4-point game. Looking at the Oak Ridge bench, a lot of disappointment, obviously. Great season, but, you know, you get to this point, they'll realize it at some point as the free throws are good. What a 4th quarter they've had here, Brian Leffler, as the Wildcats trail by a score of 63-58, a 5-point game, only 5 seconds to play in 4 seniors' career at Oak Ridge. White Station celebrating, and they should, as the Wildcats will be defeated here at the Murphy Center here in about 5 seconds. 64-58, Wildcats. DeMarcus Rogers guns a 3 at midcourt. It's good. It is good, but the game is over. Wildcats have been defeated by a final score of 64-51. So congratulations to the White Station Spartans. They win this ball game by 3 points. And it's handshakes across the floor. Tough way for the season to end after leading the entire ball game. And they close out their year at 32-3. Tough loss for the Wildcats. Congratulations to White Station. They beat Oak Ridge by 3, 64-61.